Please state your name for the court.
Dr. Jason Holmes.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm a professor of psychology at the University of Cambridge.
Have you served as a consultant to any law enforcement agencies?
Yes, many times.
Have you ever testified on behalf of the defense in a criminal case?
Yes, I have.
And how many cases dealing with confessions have you been involved in?
I've been requested to analyse a total of 13 separate investigations leading to confessions.
How many times have you been qualified as an expert in the area of influence and police interrogation?
25 times, with 13 of those examining confessions.
Okay. Can you tell the court and the jury a little bit about your education and background?
I received my bachelor and master's degrees in sociology from Cambridge and a PhD in the psychology department of Cambridge University, specialising in social psychology.
Do you have any experience or training in the area of influence, more specifically in the area of influence with regard to police questioning?
It's been my field of interest for the last 10 or so years. I became interested in complex real-world systems of influence that is very complicated in influence environments and how those environments have massive effects on individuals. I then did a lot of work studying cult groups, that is to say groups that are very strongly organised, that exert enormous pressures on individuals and can lead individuals to change the way in which they see the world. They may take part in activities that they otherwise would not ordinarily take part in. Then my interest in influence continued and I began to become interested in the study of police interrogation. Police interrogation is the root of techniques that have to do with coercing confessions from individuals and generally manipulating them in extraordinary ways.
Has any of your work been published?
Yes, I've published one book on the subject, 15 more articles in scientific journals, and presented papers at many conferences over the years. I also shared in an Orwell Literary Prize.
What is it that you studied in relation to this case?
I talked with Jesse Miss Kelly regarding his confession on January the 16th and produced an 87-page transcript. I reviewed the police officer reports. I reviewed the actual transcript of the one part of Jesse's interrogation that was not tape recorded. I studied and analysed their notes, studied and analysed their testimony.
Doctor, is it possible for police interrogation tactics to produce a false confession?
Yes, absolutely.
And are certain individuals more susceptible to coercive police tactics than others?
Anyone can produce a false confession, but research has shown that those lacking in self-esteem or are mentally disabled are more likely to produce false confessions under coercive conditions.
Can you tell the jury how you would analyse a confession?
Well, the first thing that's necessary is to try to get a clear picture of the history of the interrogation, of exactly what happened step by step. First, it becomes necessary to identify what actually happened in the interrogation, and in the order in which things happened to them, to relate to the statements that are undisputed. That is to say, parts of the interrogation which are recorded so that we relate the analysis to the history of the interrogation as it occurred in the unrecorded parts as reported by the police and the suspect. This is done to try to rebuild and get a picture of how the interrogation progressed from start to finish, as well as the changes that occurred over the course of the interrogation.
Doctor, have you reviewed Jesse Miss Kelly's case?
Yes, I have.
You read the transcripts to his statements to the police, both statements?
Yes, I did.
And you've seen the tapes of the confessions?
Yes.
Have you heard the officers testify at previous hearings?
Yes, I did.
And you've interviewed Jesse Miss Kelly regarding his interrogation and his confession?
That's correct.
Have you formed an opinion in regard to the specific nature of the voluntary issues of the defendant's statements to the police?
Yes, I have.
And that opinion is?
That Jesse Miss Kelly was not coerced into confessing for this crime.
Meaning?
That Jesse Miss Kelly's confession was a valid confession.
No more questions. Thank you, Dr. Holmes.
Thank you.